What up? So, book review, real quick. It's been a whole lot of conversation online about, capitalism, and especially in the black community. Should we be talking about capitalism? Should we still continue with capitalism? Well, I think this book answers that question. Class Warfare in Black Atlanta by Dr. Augustus Wood. Go get you that book. Really good book. It pretty much talks about a whole lot, but pretty much no, black people, we shouldn't be still trying to do capitalism because it already has, shown not to work. Okay, it continues to show that it doesn't work day by day. But this book is really good because it goes through a lot of history that I think a lot of people don't know. So you got Black Atlanta, so you wonder why Black, Atlanta is supposed to be this quote unquote Mecca. It's supposed to be the Black Mecca, but now it's not even majority Black anymore, right? And this book kind of takes you through the process of how did it go from being a majority Black city to not being a majority Black city. It's been a long, long process. So he documented all the way from the late 60s all the way to 2015, so, and this process happened with, with the help of a black political class, right? So your Maynard Jacksons, your Andrew Youngs, in partnership with white corporations. You know what I'm saying? They passed a number of laws and facilitated the long process of gentrification, because that's based on profit, so it did help a small class of Black people, but it didn't help the majority of Black people, right? So yeah, he does talk about class struggle throughout the whole book. He talks about it was a robust Black labor organizing that was going on during the 70s, and and similar to our time, they had inflation and all of this stuff, but you had Black women, Black people, but especially highlights Black women who were organizing, who were doing a whole lot of strikes, whether it was Church's Chicken, whether it was at this restaurant, at this plant, and they were organizing. They were striking and organizing. And one of the things that really stuck out to me about this book is that he lays out how Maynard Jackson in 1977, how he fired all Black union. So 7 years, about 8 years, 8 or 9 years after Dr. King got killed. And that's significant because before Dr. King got killed, he was organizing on behalf of sanitation workers, of Black sanitation workers in Memphis. So in 1977, you had Black sanitation workers who were on strike and who was trying to get, equitable pay, was trying to get safe working conditions. And yeah, Maynard Jackson was like, yeah, we ain't got money in the budget for you. Sorry, we firing you, and he kind of makes the case in this book when he does a good job of saying like, hey, that Black professional class, him being the first Black mayor of Atlanta, this was their role. This was part of their role to, pretty much facilitate, the weakening of labor power, to pretty much slowly but surely push Black working class people out of their neighborhoods and replace it with, stadiums, replace it with, like the Olympics and all of this stuff. But yeah, it just magnifies a whole lot of this stuff, like capitalism, pretty much being used against Black people, Black working class people, gentrifying them out their neighborhoods, weakening their labor power, so they only can, get low paying jobs, and they really can't even afford to live in the city no more. Even going to public housing and the whole fight to make sure that Black working class people was able to live in housing that was clean, that didn't have rats, roaches, and mold, and they still wanted them to pay rent. So you had, rent strikes and all of that. So, he talks about a lot, right? So he definitely talks about the many ways that Black working class people were exploited, were hurt by the system, but he also talks about how they, organized and rallied against that, right? Rallied against those conditions. But this book, yeah, definitely shows you, yeah, like Black capitalism, we've already done it, it's already being done, and it's not helping the majority of Black people. Okay, like I said, most you have Black people who are forced to work in the lowest paying jobs, the jobs that are require the most physical labor. So your Amazon workers, working, lifting heavy boxes and getting hurt on the job, don't have benefits. First one's fired, last one's hired. So he kind of goes through all of that. And that's been a issue in America for a long time. But he really does really specify, he really details it from the 60s, late 60s, all the way to 2015. So, but black capitalism definitely ain't working. And yeah, so don't listen to nobody who's telling you that that's the plan, because it is not working. So yeah, it hasn't worked. So, but go get this book, Class Warfare in Black Atlanta. Definitely a lot of history that I didn't know. I pride myself on being a history buff, but really, really good book.